Hi, my name is Beline Carlson, and I teach 6 through 12 social studies and language arts at Nicolaiah School. This year, we decided, because we have a very small in-person attendance size, so like we have between 8 and 10 kids that show up on a semi-regular basis in the building, that we would do our best to make our school year as experiential and enjoyable as possible. Our community has experienced a lot of stresses because of the pandemic. Many of our families decided to pull their kids out of school, which is why we are not going to be going to Japan. There's a lot of issues going on, communication problems. Things are just really difficult here, and we wanted to, because we have an opportunity with a small school size, to do things for the kids that they wouldn't normally be able to do, that we decided that we were just going to go ahead and do that. We have organized a field trip just about every other week, all school year. But our busing rates are catching up to our budget, and that is one of the things that we would like to ask for your help. Our most expensive trip, just the transportation, was over $500, and that was to Kelly Lake. It was a full-day trip, and we looked at forest growth and the result of wildfires up in the Kelly Lake area, and we hiked in the trail, and it was an all-day event, and we learned about wildfire fighting, and we learned about forest progression, and it was amazing, and the kids were all very much hands-on, and I would be delighted to send you guys pictures of that event if you'd like, and you can also get on the Nicolaiah's Facebook page to see that. So right now I have 4 students in my secondary that are busy working on their world history project. You can see my 11th grader there, and a 6th grader and an 8th grader, and there's my 7th grader who is running the projector, and they are building a collaborative website with some kids that are over in Cooper Landing, actually. Some of our out-of-school kids that we're teaching. They are working hard, right? And they're moving on to answer those questions, please, onto the website. And I'm going to take you for a walk over to the elementary end so that you can check out what we've got going on over there. I have another 4 kids in the building over in the elementary end who are working with our substitute. We have a long-term sub. We have not been able to get an elementary teacher in full-time on the other end. So we have had 2 full-time subs. One of them was a former teacher here, Krista Parrott, and was great. And then we have another one, Amy Ware, who was a former gifted and talented teacher for the school district. So we've been fortunate to find good subs. In the meantime, like in between time though, our admin, Mike Sellers, and myself have picked up the elementary teaching, and we've been team teaching the whole bit from kindergarten up to 12th grade, along with our distance ed students, and it's been very interesting and challenging. So even though we have very low numbers, our challenges are extreme. So this is our elementary classroom, and you can see the kids are hanging out, learning with their substitute, and having a good time. And except for one of them who's not having a good time. But they, we try to keep things fun here and keep things using best practice with personalized learning, and social emotional learning is really important for us. I'm going to come over here to our billboard and show you some pictures of our field trips from the past. The Kelly Lake field trip, we took them up to the college, to Kenai Peninsula College. They hung out with the paramedic people and the welding people and the art people, and they had an amazing time. And it was, the petroleum technology. It was really hilarious. They were looking for real college students is what they were looking for, but you can see pictures of the kids hanging out up there with their little hard hats on. And then we've been to the beach a couple of times looking at geology and learning about trash and the currents and picking up garbage. And there's our pictures from Kelly Lake. We had one little gal who got to dress up as a wildland firefighter. It's been pretty amazing what we've been able to do with the kids so far. One of the things is that these kids, this is a Title I school, most of these kids don't have an opportunity to do activities with local nonprofits, and I've decided to try to loop in like the Pratt Museum. The Center for Alaska Coastal Studies does stuff for us all the time, so that's amazing. But these kids aren't getting taken to the Pratt. They're not getting taken to Homer Council on the Arts. They don't get to see these cultural events. And being able to see the stuff that goes on around you, being able to have these experiences with educational professionals, with professionals from all different fields, really makes a difference to what kids set their goals on. If you can't see it, you can't be it. And I think it's really important. I've been doing this since I worked for the Girl Scouts 10 years ago. Taking kids on field trips is so important, getting them out of the school building and getting them to see what goes on in the world so that they can set goals for themselves and do things that can make a difference in their lives. And I appreciate any support that your organization can give us, and thank you very much for your time and attention.